I am Molly, and I am greeting you from Berlin, Germany, on another extremely rainy, gray, very, very gray day. So I'm sorry that the lighting isn't so great, but I feel like that's just how it's going to be the rest of the year. Because I am being so terribly reminded how much Berlin loves gray weather. And I'm not a fan at all. I am definitely missing the sun. I cannot wait to be in America and be in Wisconsin anyway and enjoy those sunny days, because I think last year we hit a record low of like 3 sunny days in a period of like 2 months or something. And it's so dark that we actually have to have the lights on. It's something that I never do. I always have the lights off. I maybe have a little side light on, like this one. But I actually have to have the overhead light on during the day, which is just crazy. But I'm so excited to go to America. We leave in 4 weeks, about a little less. You guys have no idea how much I cannot wait. We're supposed to be there for 3 weeks, but we're thinking about extending our stay and staying for, I have no idea, 4 or 5 weeks. We'll see. We'll decide that when we're there if we want to stay or not. But I can't wait. I really cannot wait to see my family and my friends children. I'm looking forward to it more than you know. I'm sure you understand. So I can't wait. My dad and my mom is the only one who has met little Ruby, and the time I know will fly. I know that we will be there in the snap of a finger. So I have a lot of work to do in the meantime, which is very exciting, but 1 minute, I'm writing something down that I don't want to forget to talk about. I can't wait to be there. I really can't wait to be there. I've been doing amazing knitting this week, and the first thing that I want to talk about is something that I just had to laugh at myself as soon as I started knitting on it. Yep, you see it right. This is my Cozy Memories blanket, which I think for the past 2 episodes, I have been just, saying I'm over it. I'm not going to knit on it anymore. I want to start a new blanket project because I really want to design a new one. I still do. But I just thought it was finished. I don't know why I thought I was so over it. And yesterday I was watching a podcast called, I hope I get this right, it's called The Knitting Broomsticks, and Jill is the host, or Jilly. Her Instagram name, I believe, is Vegan Jilly. And I love this podcast. So I believe it's called The Knitting Broomsticks, or Knitting Broomsticks, or Knitting with Broomsticks. One of those on YouTube. And it's Jill is the host of the podcast, and she knits and crochets and does a lot of different things, and she is so excited about what she's working on, and she's working on a Cozy Memories blanket as well. And I felt her podcast is very laid back. The backgrounds change. It's not super professional. It's just relaxed, and she's there, and she's really lovely. I really just liked it. I felt very, very inspired by her. As I watched her, I just thought, I want to knit this, I want to knit on that, I want to pick up that old project, I want to pick up that old project. Just a lot of, those beginning love crush feelings came back for me with knitting. And I definitely feel that. I always love knitting. I really like working with my hands, but this Cozy Memories blanket, I just thought, I'm going to take that off of my chair, and I'm going to, because I had it kind of laid out over the stool on my chair, And I've been sitting on it, and it's just been really nice and comfy and cute, and then I can pull it over my lap when I want. And so I was watching her podcast, and I had been making some stitch markers, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to stop this right now, and I'm going to grab my Cozy Memories blanket, because I never take time in the day to sit back and knit and relax, and I thought I really need to do this. It's so important, and Jill is inspiring me, and when it hits, you've got to do it. So I picked up my Cozy Memories blanket, and I almost knit 3 squares. So I knit this one in some yarn from the wool barn. I didn't have enough, so I just grabbed a little bit of opal and knit the end. I didn't even try to match the color. It's not a big deal. It's a scrappy blanket anyway. And then I knit this yarn. I'm noticing that my gauge has loosened up a lot. Since knitting on this before, I feel like it's gotten a lot looser. But anyway, here, yeah. Let me show you the right side so you don't see all of these ends. Then I knit on this one, and then I knit, I think this is Mardi Gras. I know Kristen from Yarngasm gave this to me, the Yarngasm podcast. And I'm all out, so I'll again have to add a spare for the end. It won't even be a Stellina yarn, which is okay. But I love this. I'm really happy I didn't cast it off. I think it would have been such a pity to have, given an end to it and just started a new one. For what? You know what I mean? Like, I kind of wanted to start a new one, like I said, with a smaller gauge, a tighter gauge, maybe even the same size squares. I don't really know what I had in mind, but I just had been wanting new knitting projects, new this, new that. And like I said, after watching Jill from the Knitting Broomsticks, I just thought, I'm going to pick up those projects. I'm going to take this with me, at least my plan right now, is to take this with me to America along with a lot of minis and have this kind of be my main knitting project. I know it will be freezing in Wisconsin, so this will be just a nice wool blanket to keep over my lap. I know my grandma will like to see it and look at it, and I want her to start one of these blankets. So Grandma, maybe when you see mine, you'll want to start it. One thing that I want to say about this is I had been knitting my blanket with these diamond-shaped pieces. It's really hard to show, but where it goes like this. And that had just been making it so not nice. And I mentioned this last time, that I had been getting to these areas where I had to... Anyway, I'm not even going to try to explain it, because I tried to explain it last time, and I'm sure that I confused some of you. But it just wasn't relaxing. I just wanted it to be where I picked up... I use 40 stitches for each square. So I just wanted it to be where I picked up 20 and then picked up 20, like here, pick up 20 here, pick up 20 here, and then knit and work on my decreases. I always keep a stitch marker in the middle, and this is a stitch marker that I got from a friend in Berlin a long time ago, and it's just kind of, it's always in the bag, and when I can't find a stitch marker, because who knows where in the world all of the stitch markers go, when I can't find a stitch marker, that one for some reason is magnetized to my bag. But I think a big reason why I stopped working on this was just because it was too tedious with all of these diamond-shaped pieces, and I didn't want to be paying so much attention to it. I wanted it to be a project that I could just pick a new yarn, relaxingly, if that's even a word, knit on the blanket. And it wasn't that at all for me in the end. In the beginning it was really fun, and it just got to be something that one square would be relaxing. It was every other square that I really had to pay attention to. And that just wasn't nice. And I kept thinking, oh, I wish I would have, I love the look of this diamond, but I wish I would have just done the ones where the lines are all going diagonally, or in, different diagonals like Danny from Little Bobbins. And so I just thought, this needs to be a blanket of love. That's what it has always been. That's what it started off as being. It cannot be this blanket that I'm just setting down because I don't want to work on it anymore because I'm not enjoying it and it's becoming this big tedious project. So I'm just going to pick up the stitches, and those little diagonal lines are going to go in whatever order they go. I don't care if this massive square all has diamonds. Everything around it is not going to be a diamond. It is not going to look perfect, whatever that means. It is just going to be something now that I can take little minis of random yarn and enjoyingly and relaxingly knit on. And that's what it is. And as I'm talking about it, I just want to turn this off and knit on it. So I've fallen in love with the Cozy Memories blanket again. And maybe cold weather needed to come for that to happen, because it is a big, warm project. And I just needed to realize, hey Molly, this blanket does not need to be perfect. It isn't perfect. There are so many different skeins in it that now, I know it's silly, but I wish I wouldn't have knit in there. Just kind of the first couple of skeins that I knit in there, I wish I wouldn't have knit in there. Why though? I have no idea. So, this will probably be what I'm knitting on a bit. I'm going to keep that on my lap because it's a little bit chilly. So I've obviously been having a lot of fun knitting on that. So, I think it was yesterday. Throughout the week, I have been picking up just at random little times the Exploration Station that I've been knitting for Robert. That's a pattern by Stephen West, which I'm sure all of you know. And I want to get it done for Christmas because I want to knit him a shawl. I do have some tweed socks that I knit for Robert, and it's so funny because I think he knew that I was knitting on them and he somehow forgot. I finished them. I was going to give them to him, but I put them in a box that I'll give to him for Christmas. And it's so funny because he has been saying to me that I need to cast him on a pair of socks. Like if I'm saying I'm knitting something, he's like, or you could cast on a pair of socks for me. And I'm just like, yeah, I have a pair. I desperately want to cast on another pair. Nina sent me some yarn that I showed you guys a while ago. And I desperately want to cast on that yarn for him. Either that or I have some green Knit Picks Stroll tweed that I think about casting on. He really likes tweed, but then the stripes are also really nice. I think he might really enjoy a pair of green tweed socks, so thinking about it. Anyway, back to the Exploration Station. So I had just been picking it up thinking, yeah, you're doing awesome, cheering myself on, thinking I had been doing just this fantastic job of knitting on this on and off throughout, work, and I would have yarn in the pots, I'd quick sit down, knit 1 or 2 rows on it, I'd start to do something else, sit down, knit 5 rows on it here and there, just kind of, getting little knit breaks in between work. And I really made it a priority to do this because, like I said, I don't normally knit during the day, but now that Christmas is coming and I have just a couple of gifts, I just have, the shawl for Robert and the mittens for my grandma. That's all that I have right now for Christmas gifts because I think that's all that I will knit. I've just been feeling really good, and I was almost finished with this wedge. Let me show you. So this is the same wedge that I've been working on last time. And I have the most adorable little mushroom progress keeper on there, or stitch marker. You can see it's grown a lot. Before it was just a couple of rows, and I finally got it this large. And I was to the point where I just had this much more left to knit. And I thought, oh my goodness, something seems wrong. How have I been knitting this? And then I realized that obviously a shawl grows and is supposed to get bigger. I hadn't been increasing on any row. This is how I felt inside. I thought, oh my goodness, you have got to be kidding me. You have been so good with picking this up. It's something that you kind of have to think about when you're knitting, because of all of these eyelets, and I thought, just breathe. Put it down now. Do not even rip it out. I have to finish it. I want to finish it. It's beautiful. It's so perfect. I hope he loves it. I'm almost positive he will love it, but thank God it was in this skein top drawer sock yarn, because of all the yarns that I'm knitting this shawl with, this is my favorite. I absolutely love the way that it feels. So that's good, at least. And I have to rip it out. I have to rip out the whole wedge. Which just pains me to think of. It really, really pains me to think of, because it was a lot of knitting, a lot of time in my day. But you know what? I guess that just means that this shawl gets a little bit more love, a little bit more tender care, and it's special. It's very, very special. It's going to keep Robert's neck nice and warm, and I have time to get it done. So if anything, I can just stop working on all knitting, the week before we leave for America. I would like to have it done before we leave, because being realistic, I know I'm not going to get a lot of knitting time in while I'm there, just because I'll be busy knitting and doing things, or not knitting, I'll be busy visiting and doing things, taking care of the children, spending time with people, just moving around a bit, that I know I will not be sitting and knitting a lot. And in the evenings, I think would be the only kind of time that I have some time to sit and knit. So we'll see. But that was really, really, really sad. So I have another knitting trauma. I don't know what's been going on this week. I think it's just the multitasking of knitting while working on a pattern that you have to think about a little bit. So I am knitting on my Foraging mittens for my grandma. I'm still on the first mitten. I would be finished with this, to be honest, but the mishap happened, and so I obviously had to stop. So I'm sure you're wondering why in the world this knitting needle is sitting here. Have any of you guessed it? I don't know if you can see, but there are 2 dropped stitches all the way down here, and this needle is taking care of them. Again, cry-worthy. Not really, but if this was the second mitten, it wouldn't be such a big deal. But if I take off my beautiful DPN cozy from Danny, you can see that it's a lot. It's a bit of a way. I mean, these are size 2mm needles, which I think is a US 0. And I'm basically at the top decrease, which means I'm basically finished. And now the question is, do I rip all the way back, or do I sew those stitches in? Now, if you've watched all of my podcasts, you know that I am a person who would rip all of that back just to have it be this perfect mitten. Now I know that there is a saying or belief, and I wish I could remember by who, that say that every single knitting project should have one error in it. It makes it lucky. So knowing my grandma, I could see that she would like something like that, as long as it looks still nice. But knowing me, I think that I will have to rip this back and fix these 2 dropped stitches. But it had to take a time out. I had to put it away. I really felt so proud of myself that I had knit so much on these. I thought, yes, 1 mitten will be finished. I can cast on the other one. I really have been enjoying knitting on these. This is my Foraging Mittens pattern. And someone had written me about how long I knit the cuff. It's 3 inches. It's about 3.5 inches long. So I believe it says that in the pattern, though. I'll rib it back, knit on it one evening. I know Robert will be gone tonight very late, so I think this will probably be my project to get the girls to bed and then rip and knit on my Foraging mitten. I'm knitting these in the Knit Pro Zings. I really, really like these. I think last time I said that I couldn't say anything about them because I was maybe only this far into the mitten. But I love them. I love that this size is pink because pink is kind of my favorite color. I really love it. I love that these are in pink. I like them. They're very blunt, and I was a little concerned with how that would knit a lace section with yarn overs and knit 2 togethers, but it's perfect. I've had no problem with it. I think if you're a very tight knitter, you might have some trouble with these, but if you're a normal to loose knitter, no way. These should be a walk in the park. And I'm sorry that these are not allowed. They're not available in America. So I'm loving knitting on these. I'm excited to get these done. I'm excited to cast on a pair for myself. I had thought that I would cast on a pair for myself in my Pygmy Puff colorway, which is Harry Potter inspired, and I still haven't woven in the ends, but that's the yarn that I used for my mom's mittens. This is my Pygmy Puff colorway. I think I have that in the shop on my Dale fingering. I think there's 2 skeins left in that. So, but I don't know. I'm thinking about, I have recently dyed up some tweed yarn, and I'm thinking about maybe knitting myself a pair on some tweed yarn. But I still think it would be fun to have the same pair of mittens in the yarn that my mom dyed. Is that all that I've been working on? No. I actually finished 2 things this week. So I took a break from knitting the hat for Elodie, which is finished. She has it on Keitra right now. It fits perfect and she loves it. But Ruby has a hat like this that I knit out of my post box. I don't remember. It was a one-of-a-kind colorway. And so I love it so much that I wanted to knit one for Elodie because I wanted something that really keeps her ears nice and warm, and this is just, it's one of my favorite patterns ever. So I knit this one for Elodie in just a random purpley, blue, green with little specks of yellow. This is also one of a kind. I knit this out of my Dale DK yarn, and I put a really sweet little button here. This actually came from the first little necklace and bracelet that I ever bought for Elodie. She was so little, and here in Germany they have a lot of wooden children's toys. It's kind of, at least in Berlin, it's quite a thing. They're quite expensive, but they're well made and they're nice. So Ruby has a couple of wooden toys and I love them. They're my favorite and she enjoys them too. But they have a lot of children's wooden necklaces with these really sweet little painted wooden beads. And the bracelet that came with the necklace actually broke quite new into getting it as soon as she was able to wear it. I bought it when she was really little. I just saw it and thought, oh my goodness, this is so cute. I need to buy it. And so I bought it, and she wasn't able to wear it for a couple of years, I think until she was 3 even, maybe, because the necklace was just too long. I still have it. I wish I would have brought it in here. But the necklace was just too long, and by the time she was able to wear it, anyway, she put the bracelet on. I don't even know if she was stretching it. It broke. I thought this would make a really cute button. And so I was searching for buttons for this hat, and I just thought, I have always been putting special buttons on these hats. And I thought, you know, it isn't necessarily the prettiest or most beautiful button, but it's one that came with a bracelet that I, you know, had special thought of. I got for Elodie when she was just a little baby. She's 4 years old now, and I want to put this special little bead from her bracelet on there. And she likes it. I was a little bit curious how she would feel about this strap under her chin and this tight little cap, but she looks adorable in it. It fits perfectly, and I'm really happy with it. I love this hat pattern. So today she's wearing her new little elf hat, which looks so cute. I will try and get that to you guys for the next podcast to show, but it's getting colder outside, and I didn't want to nab it from her and take and give her a different hat to wear. She really likes it, and maybe there'll be a cooler day next week that I can take it. Or maybe I just have to knit her another one just so I can show it. But then when would I show the one that I knit? Anyway, one other thing that I really want to start knitting again are my birds of happiness. I was looking through, this is my little bag that I think I got this as a sample from an Etsy shop seller when I was purchasing some yarn, and it was too small to make any project bag that I sell, although it's quite a nice size. And I kind of use this for my birds of happiness because there are little cuckoo clocks on there, and they're just these little birds, and they look just like the birds of happiness. And I was looking through here, and I found my little, there's lavender all over these yarns, but I found my 2 little balls of Nature's Luxury yarn. And I knit my Raven's Nest shawl forever ago. I think in episode 15 I finish it. I might be knitting on it in 13 and 14, I'm not sure. But anyway, this is Nature's Luxury. It is a silk cashmere blend, and then when I got that, I was sent this just extra nice skein of camel silk, which is also wonderful. And they smell like lavender because I have had them in this bag for almost 2 years, I think now. And I had knit a couple little blue, I think they're called the Bluebird of Happiness, but I just call them Birds of Happiness, patterns out of these. And I really would like to have this yarn in my fingers again and knit something with it. So I think that will be a goal, to knit a couple Birds of Happiness with these. I don't know what I will do with them, use them for myself. The only Bluebird of Happiness that I have kept is this one right here, which was knit with some fairy hair yarn that Kristen from the Woolen Vine Yarn company sent me. And yeah, but I really want to knit with these. They're very simple. I'm realizing that I am becoming a very tonal yarn person. I really love speckled and variegated yarns as well, but there is just, I don't know, there's something really, really special in knitting with tonal yarns. These ones are not tonal, they're just a flat color, but I'm excited to use these. So I still don't know what sweater I'm going to be knitting. I don't see that happening before the end of the year at all. It's not even in my plans as of now. I've been thinking about it a little bit. I'm adjusting my blanket because my legs are getting chilly. But yeah, I don't know. I have started a thread, or I haven't even started a thread, but I want to do kind of like a mochi ornament knit along. And I'm going to call that our Yuletide Joy ornament knit along. And I would like that to start just now. I would like it to start now and end, I'll say December and New Year's Eve, even though I'm sure people won't be knitting ornaments after Christmas, but just to make it fun and easy and a long goal. So I will definitely be knitting some Bluebirds of Happiness. I know Laura from Jinx Yarns, she's knitting these little stars, and I'm a little bit intrigued by them. I know they're extremely fiddly, but I also want to knit a seahorse. Kristen from Yarngasm has knit a couple of seahorses. I want to knit a really small one on size 2mm 0 US needles. And that will definitely be in some variegated yarn. So I want a Bluebird of Happiness, a seahorse, possibly a little star. We'll see. I'm not super hooked on that idea. I've seen by the Mochi, they have some really cute little, there's a unicorn that is really cute. I have a couple of them favorited in my favorites. And then I have, like I said, I have a little pattern that I want to come out so soon when I can make time for it. And then I also we have a Yuletide Joy Swap, which I am so excited about. So I'm going to read this off to you. So we're having our Yuletide Joy Holiday Swap. And so what that is I will be pairing you with a partner. You can head over to Ravelry right now, pause this, sign up. All you have to do is say, yes, I'm interested. And what you'll be sending is some sort of sweet. It can be chocolate, caramels, toffee, peppermint bark, anything that is holiday-ish that you really, really love. And then you're sending 6 skeins of fingering weight holiday-themed yarn. So these should be about 6 to 10 grams. From 6 separate yarns. These should be holiday themed. So they don't have to be like a yarn that you buy and is like, this is very holiday themed. So this is my Home for the Holidays color. And it doesn't have to have a Christmas title. It could just be a red yarn. I would like these to be nice yarns. I don't want it to be, I don't want it to be like an acrylic yarn, or I want it to all be fingering yarns. I want it to be some sort of nice, soft yarn. So it can definitely be a red yarn. It can be a green yarn. It doesn't have to say like Christmas yarn or anything like that. It just has to be something that screams Christmas or the holidays to you. It doesn't have to be red. It doesn't have to be green. It can be, winter-like, but definitely holiday-ish. Like I said, what that means to you. So then you send an ornament. It can be knit, sewn, cross-stitched, made by you somehow, needle felted, and then anything of your choosing that's holiday-themed. You can send a mug, a knick-knack, a brooch, some sort of bar of soap, like peppermint soap or anything. A scented tea light or votive. And then that's it. So the signups will close on November 25th, and then I will be posting all of your partners on the 26th. And then I would like your package to be mailed by the 2nd so that everyone can enjoy and use their fun little Christmas or holiday, because not everyone celebrates Christmas, holiday themed gifts. And so if you sign up now, I would say just start slowly gathering things so that by the 2nd you have everything ready to just ship off. And you can ship it off on the 26th, even as soon as I, let you know who your partners are. And yeah, so I'm very, very, very excited about that. I will definitely be participating as well. Something else that I wanted to talk about is my Wisconsin meetup. Most people have said that they want to meet on the weekend. I haven't even decided a day for sure. I will be announcing that next week. Just a little heads up that I will be announcing the day that we will be meeting up. I will be throwing that onto the Ravelry boards today or tomorrow, maybe 2 or 3 days, and then people will really be saying what days they definitely want to meet on, and then I'll say where. So as far as shop updates go, I have a bit of fun stuff in the shop. I have put a bit of Christmas yarns in there again. And I think I will be offering those probably up until December 1st or so. So here is, it hasn't been hanged up yet, but this is Festival of Lights. This is just a really pretty speckly yarn. I can just twist it a little so you can see. And then I just showed you Home for the Holidays, that one. And then I have Gingerbread Cookie. So this is just a really nice gingerbread sort of color, cookie color with some mostly red specks and a couple of green specks here and there. I also have, which hasn't been rehanged yet, birthday cake. Which is really nice. I have Berlin Sunrise, which is this one, and Berlin Sunset, which is a bit more gray. Super fluffy and soft on Dale. I wanted to show this. I really like the way barley pairs with these. Barley, and this one's peony. Those are in the shop. You can always pair lots of the tonals with this is foliage. Here I have pressed flowers. That could be paired with something like moss. Half-Blood Prince. I have 2 more skeins left of This Is Halloween. Those are the last that will be in the shop this year, I believe, unless somebody has a custom request. I do custom requests, so if there is a yarn that you want to see that isn't in the shop, it has to be 2 skeins or more. Just let me know. I have You Cook, I'll Sing. A new favorite, I don't think that I've shown this on the podcast yet, but this is Unicorn Tail. I love this one. This is on my cashmere base, which is fantastic. It's 25% cashmere, which is heavenly. 80%, 70% merino, and 5% nylon. And then I have this new colorway, which I haven't named yet. This is on cashmere as well. I have it also in Dale. So I did some wonderful kits this week. These were homegrown, just so you can kind of see the size of the bags. They're quite large. So it was kits with some different yarns and then some stitch markers. I have some other fun ones that I'm going to be putting up this week, along with a bit more patchwork bags. Those ones went so quick, so if you didn't see them, I'm so sorry. Know that there will be more up in the shop tomorrow, definitely, along with a couple of kits as well. I haven't decided what sort of size of bags those will be. I've kind of thought about doing some sock bags. I haven't done those in a long time. I've kind of been sticking more to larger bags just because that's what I've been using and loving a lot lately. But yeah. Also, one thing that I wanted to mention that I'm so excited for is I will be doing a Harry Potter sock club. So that will, openings for that will start in December, on December 1st, and the first shipment will go out in January, February, and March. So I can't wait! I really can't wait. And I'm sure that you guys will love it. So yeah, I just wanted to announce that we'll be having a Harry Potter sock club. Robert was gone almost all week last week for 4 days. It was so long. I just miss him so much when he's gone. And we had a lot of fun. We went to the puppet theater. We went for a couple walks. But it's kind of hard, being by yourself when you don't have a car. Going with 2 kids. So I would carry Ruby and the baby Bjorn, and then actually bring Ruby or Adody in the stroller, which I know she's 4, but when you're on a busy street, it's kind of hard to have a little kid walking around. So I would push her in the stroller, and it was just kind of exhausting. But we still had a nice time. We definitely missed Robert like crazy. He's very, very busy this week, but he's home in the evenings, well, most of the evenings. Like I said, tonight, he will be gone a lot. He'll be gone very late. Actually, this whole week, he's going to be gone most of the time. But he will sleep here, which is nice. But we'll miss him. We've been missing him so much. I think it will just be, like I said, nice to be in America and have a lot of time together as a family doing stuff. I know Adody has been wanting so bad to go on a holiday. One of her friends has been gone for almost 2 weeks on holiday. Emma, Tina's family. So most days Adody has been asking, when is Emma coming back? Is Emma going to be in Nikita again? But Adody has been having the best time ever at Kita, which has just been so weird, but nice. I'll pick her up sometimes 45 minutes to a half an hour earlier than normal, and she will just be like, Mommy, no, you're not supposed to be here yet. And I'm just like, what the heck? Like, usually she has been so excited for me to pick her up early, but lately I've been coming in and she's been playing with kids and having fun and looking at books and doing crafty things or doing like a puzzle, and she's just really into it. And so today we are not picking her up early. It's really hard for me not to pick her up early because sometimes I finish my work early, or Ruby just happens to be really awake, and so I think I'm not going to get any work done anyway, or like I said, I'm already finished with work, so why is Adody still at Kita? And then I go and pick her up and I just think she's having so much fun here that I should just let her have fun with all of these kids. What we've been doing though, every time she comes home, we put on, I wish I knew what the song was. This fall music, I talked about it in the last podcast. And there's this one song that she loves. It's like Klatsch, 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 Stampf, Stampf, Stampf. Oh, I wish I could remember about Regentropfen. Regentropfen, bam, ba, 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 da, da, da. I can't remember, but you Germans, maybe you know it. I wish I could remember. It's driving me crazy now. And we take all the pillows, she lays them all across the couch and just goes crazy, running back and forth and jumping onto the footstool. We move it away, and a house is for playing in. Like a couch, I think it's so, I can understand also, I guess, not being able to jump on furniture. You don't want it to break, but I don't know. I feel like if you have kids, you just kind of, as long as they are being careful with things, it's fine. And we let her jump on the couch. We let her have fun with it. We will basically give this couch away when we move. We want a new one anyway. So she does that for probably an hour. I hold Ruby and I like dance around and clap and stomp, and we listen to the same song over and over. It started because there was this really, really rainy day, because it's been rainy and it's supposed to rain the rest of the week. But there was this really rainy day, and I knew that we had this CD with the song about rain on it. And so I turned it on and I was listening to the words and I was like, oh, it's kind of like a song where you do stuff with. So I started to do it and she just went crazy, and we are like freaking out with dance moves to this song, and it's so much fun. I think Robert is going crazy with hearing this song all the time. But we listen to it a lot while he's gone, so he doesn't get a lot of it. But Christmas is coming soon. I am very excited. I have a couple of gifts that I've made in advance for people. Those are people who watch the podcast. So I'm not going to say or even show those on the podcast. But I kind of would really like to give handmade for Christmas this year. And that doesn't necessarily mean knitting. That just means even handmade by other artists. I don't know if I really want to buy any sort of gift from a big box store. I don't know. I'm having a little bit of struggles with this. I've never had a Christmas where I've just given handmade. But I think something about that is really special and very important. I just feel like it's a really, like I said, it's a really important thing to do, and I think it's something that I don't know why we have such a hard time and think that we have to buy these plasticky things for people or clothing for people when people have so much clothing that they don't even wear. Like, how much clothing do you really, really need? This is something that I struggle with myself too. I'm not saying that I don't buy clothes, because I definitely do. And I even now would like to have some more different clothes in my wardrobe. But I know we as consumers, people just buy so much unnecessary things. I was laying in Elodie's bedroom yesterday, and I was just looking around, and I thought, she plays with probably 5% of the things in this room. Why do we have all of this stuff? And I just had this urge to get rid of everything. And I think most things she would not even realize. And I feel like when we move, we really have to take advantage of that and get rid of a lot of things, because how much do we need? How much space do we have? I feel like when things are lighter and more simplistic, it's easier to breathe, it's easier to relax, it's easier to clean. It's just, I know that we don't need, and we don't really have a lot of stuff. We have a very small flat, and I'm one who has never liked a big house. That's nothing I've ever wished. Although lately I have been just yearning for a yard. That's one thing that I've really been yearning for, and kind of moving out into the forest. That's something that I've really been wanting. We have this flat that we are supposed to move into, which we were supposed to move into half of a year ago, but a lot of legal problems have been happening with the people who are living there, and I just feel like it's not the right place for us to be anymore. And I've been telling Robert I really want to move now kind of outside of Berlin, somewhere where there's a lot of nature, and just a really nice community of people. And this is something I really want. I feel like I need it. And I hope that it falls into place for us. I hope that this flat that we're supposed to move into falls through. And I really want to move somewhere with a yard where my kids can go outside and play, and for me to feel extremely safe with them being outside. And I don't know, it's crazy. I always felt like I would live in the city. I always felt like Berlin was such a perfect place to raise a family, and it's so crazy how once you become a mother, and especially of 2 children, how much your perceptions change on things. How I could go into a whole another topic about this, but I just feel like I want to be somewhere else. I want to be closer to nature because I don't feel like that at all anymore. But anyway, I'm looking forward to getting some work done today. I have a lot of yarn that I have to reskein. I have a bunch of patchwork project bags that I want to sew up. I have some stitch markers that I have to put together for some kits this week that I'm really excited about. And some yarn that has to be dyed. I'm getting a bunch of, because because it's becoming very cold, I thought it's a perfect time to start dyeing a lot of my 50% baby alpaca and 50% BFL. This is not a superwash. This is pure, non-plasticky, awesome yarn. So there are 2 skeins of Aurelia. I showed these last week in the shop, and I'm going to start dyeing a bit more on this base. I haven't decided what the base is going to be called, but oh my goodness, there is some knitting that I haven't shown you guys. What is going on with me? I will be dyeing on that base now because I think it will be perfect for the winter. So, if there are any colors you guys want to see on there, let me know. Speaking of bases, this is just ridiculous. So I finished these socks. This is my Olsen base, which I said I wasn't going to have in the shop anymore. I just didn't really like it. And it's so funny. Sarah from Love Sock Wool bought this yarn in my birthday cake colorway. And she started knitting with it, and I told her, you know, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have that base anymore. I hope that you still like it. And she was like, no, I love it. It's the softest BFL that I've used. And I thought, what? So I picked up the sock again. I started knitting it. I finished knitting it. I cast on the second one. Somebody asked me if my little jingle bell progress keepers really jingle. They do. I cast on the second one. I'm almost to the heel. And I do like it. So I don't know what was going on with me that I thought that this yarn was not the best. And I felt a little bit bad for you know, selling it after I had sold a lot, and then I started to knit with it, and I thought, oh man, I don't really know if I like this yarn. And so that's why I discontinued it and stopped selling it. But now that I'm knitting with it, and Sarah said, you know, I really, really like it, and I thought I need to give that yarn a second chance. I did, like I said, and I'm thinking about bringing it back. I'll see when I finish these socks, but I do really like it. It is very soft, definitely, for a BFL. I think you probably could even knit a shawl with it. I think you could definitely knit a cardigan with it. But the dye takes to it amazingly. And I know Kristen from Full and Vine Yarns had told me this as well. And I love the way that the dye takes to the BFL. I have my puddle jumper is dyed on this. This is in the shop. I think that might be the only one I have in the shop on BFL. I have You Cook I'll Sing as well, which is this one on the BFL. And that's it. And I have Witch's Brew. But yeah, so anyway, that's all I wanted to say. So I knit a bit on these. I don't even know why I forgot to show them. But I also knit a little bit on my socks. I think those are almost finished. So I knit a bit on these. You can see my progress keeper. And then I knit that much. So I totally forgot to show those. I feel like I was about to say I would like to have those finished this week, but who knows? Who knows? I have a lot of things that I want to knit this week. So I wish you guys a fantastic week. I cannot wait to see you guys next week, I know last week I showed you guys, I think I did. Or no, I didn't. I was going to show you guys a giveaway, but I just did it through Instagram. So anyway, disregard that comment completely. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.